Boom.
Fishy
I'm
Biz.
singing Fishy Jerks.
Fishy
Look at
Biz
that.
got like a 15-minute intro.
And a lot of people do, and I get it. Sometimes it helps them get set up and all that kind of stuff. But I don't care for it. I just want to get busy and get it. I want the
There you go.
content. I want our conversation to take up all of it. Hey, everybody.
Let's get to it.
Real quick, and Jason's with us tonight, obviously. Just want to remind people, we don't look at the chat the whole first hour. The chat's going away. I won't even be able to see it. If you've got questions for Jason, save them for the second part, and we'll get to those.
Who's Jason?
If you got questions for AquaFunk, save those for the second half. I kept calling you Funk Master because I knew a guy years and years ago who went by the name Funk Master, but he was an asshole. So I guess that's why I got you confused.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
So hi everybody, and I'm getting rid of the chat right now, and it's gone. Also, real quick, I forgot something today in today's afternoon delight. It's Mikey B's birthday. I mean, it's also AquaFunk's birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you for remembering.
737 days in a row, but it is Mikey B's birthday today as well, and I forgot that today. So happy birthday, Mikey. Okay,
Me and Mikey are twinsies.
You are. You guys look almost identical too.
Yeah, twinsies.
And he's married to a Puerto Rican girl, so there's even more of a,
I'm sorry.
Matt gave us.
I told him. I spoke to him, and I was like, "Why would you do that?" I grew up with Puerto Rican women. I actually told myself, and she'll even tell you, Maida will tell you, a long-term relationship, heck to the no, I will not do it. I seen what y'all did to other men growing up. I seen what my aunts and my cousins, and I seen them all. I was like, I'm not going to be that sucker.
And how long ago was that? You guys have been together how long now?
Like, I don't know, 1800 years, something like that.
All right.
Forever. See what I'm telling y'all?
She want to say hi? Does she want to say hi? Tell her.
You want to say hi?
Come say hi.
No, you're already done busting the live. You might as well come over here and say hi. Come here. Hi. You need to. Yeah. It's right here.
I can't see.
Thank you. That was the best beginning to any stream ever. That was perfect. Thank you so much. I was red. I was dying laughing. That was beautiful. So thank you so much for putting him in his place.
You're welcome. I it was like my ears were ringing. I was in the kitchen and I heard him.
She's being nosy is what she was doing.
No, I was all the way in the kitchen, but he has this
all up in my
piercing
business.
Voice. You know what I mean?
She was all up in my business.
Yeah, so as soon as he said Maida, I was like ding 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 ding.
She was in the kitchen. Something burning.
Cleaning like always.
Something burning, I smell it.
He did say nice stuff though.
He said, okay, good.
All right. Thank you for
bye guys.
See ya.
No problem. Bye.
All right. That was the best start that we've had to any of our interviews. That was the best start. And it was so fitting because it was the best representation I've ever seen of a
Puerto Rican woman. Don't do it,
yeah.
Mike. Don't do it.
Well, they've been married for a long time, Ritz and Mike.
Well, he's just done. He's stick a fork in him. All of us.
He does look a little defeated quite often. He does. Not to mention,
yeah.
he does look, he's got a defeated look sometimes. He's just sort of like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? All right. So you currently live in Florida. You've been there for quite a long time, but you're from what? New Jersey, New York? Where are you from?
Okay. So here is my path up and down the East Coast. Born in Brooklyn till I was like 11 or 12. Moved to Virginia. Now, even though I was born in Brooklyn, I am Puerto Rican. Everybody, I used to go back to Brooklyn from Virginia every summer. My growing up, my becoming a man was in Virginia. So my home is Virginia.
Okay.
I met Maida. Just want to see if she's gonna hop up again. I met Maida in Virginia, but she's from Jersey. So we went to Jersey, and then from Jersey we moved to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Back and forth.
So I am not by no means a Florida man.
No.
Because it's real, and I'm not that.
But
They're crazy out here.
You have tendencies of the Florida man.
What? Like what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
do wear Crocs. I wear Crocs a lot. I do.
Crocs.
I have adopted the Croc thing.
I wear Crocs. I have fur-lined Crocs I wear in the wintertime. barefoot, and some fur-lined Crocs.
Oh, I can't wear these Crocs without socks. I can't stand sweaty, rubbery feet.
Oh yeah. I wear them in the rain with bare feet. So they're all slippy slide. So that's not a Florida thing. It's just your demeanor is sort of a Florida man kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm. I refuse to agree to any of that.
Okay.
On GP.
Virginia, you still feel like is home. That's where you
that's my home.
Formative years.
That's where some of my most fondest memories, some of my worst memories, where I learned how to become who I am today, was from Virginia.
And you moved there with family, your mom, dad. How'd you go to Virginia?
My mom kidnapped us from my grandmother.
Okay.
So my grandmother. No, my grandmother at one point was taking care of all her kids' kids. It was rough back in the 80s in Brooklyn. My brother, my two sisters, my little cousin from my aunt was also living with my grandmother. And one day, my mom was trying to find herself, okay, so I'm gonna get into a subject I'm sure is okay to talk about because it turned it out well. But back in the 80s, there was a pipeline from Virginia to New York. You know what I'm talking about?
No. What was in the pipeline?
Drugs.
Okay.
There was a constant da-da-da. Now, my mom got in with the wrong crowd. I ain't afraid to say it because it turned out great. My mom got in with the wrong crowd, and at one point, she made a run with whoever from Virginia to New York. She saw Virginia. She fell in love with Virginia. Immediately, when she came back to Brooklyn, me, my brother, my two sisters were living with my grandmother. She came early one Saturday morning, woke me up. Shh, you and your brother put some clothes in this bag. She got my sisters ready.
Wait, how old were you? Then?
I was like 11.
Okay.
I was like 11. My brother was 10, and my sisters were like 4. You know what I mean? 4 and 5 or something like that. So we started, don't wake up, Wella. That's what we call grandmothers, don't wake up, Wella. So we got real quiet and we're sneaking, where are we going? And my grandmother woke up, came out the room. Where are you taking those kids? And then she said, run! And we just booked out the house. While my grandmother was a big woman, but she was hauling everything she had following us. And we got out the car, hopped in the cab, went down to the bus station, the Greyhound bus station, and ended up in Virginia. And she saw Virginia just like that.
You left all your friends. She didn't ask if you wanted to go. Nothing. She just said this is what you were doing. And were you upset? Were you mad?
No, we was with our mom. Honestly, we was with our mom. It didn't matter. It did not matter. The only thing she said to us was, "This is not Brooklyn. No fighting." I fought a lot, and I messed that up the first day. I did. I did.
Did you continue to mess that up, or did you learn as time?
No, I was a pretty angry young person.
Yeah,
pretty angry. Yeah, I had a lot going on. I was pretty angry in general. I was never a mean child. But I was a mischievous and bad. But I was never mean. I was never mean to people, But if I saw a bigger person that I felt rubbed me the wrong way, I was like, I wonder if I could beat him up. Yeah. So yeah.
What were you so angry about? Just life at that point? Just everything you were going through? What was it that made you, I know you're talking about.
No, no, no. Well, I mean, it went all the way up into my teens, really. The pressures, being in Virginia as a Puerto Rican from Brooklyn back in the 80s, it was just a culture shock. Like, we would go to school, people would argue, what are you, white or black?
Wow. Okay.
And we didn't understand that concept. Growing up in Brooklyn in the 80s, you lived on a block with black people, you lived on a block with Italians,
it doesn't matter. People everywhere, the real melting pot.
But the idea of asking me what color I was, that would baffle me. And especially only giving me two options.
Yeah. Yeah.
So me and my brother would kind of looking like, we're Puerto Rican. Yeah, but what color are you? We're Puerto Rican. Like, we did not understand it. We didn't know how to walk. Because in New York, back in the 80s, they were jalopies. So you can hear the cars driving. In Virginia, in the suburbs, there was no sidewalks. We didn't know where to walk. We didn't, because you don't walk in the middle of the street in Brooklyn, and you don't walk in people's yards. You walk on a sidewalk. So me and my brother, I lie to you not, we walked on the curb because we did not know where to walk.
And did you figure that out? Where did everybody else walk? Why was there no sidewalks?
People didn't walk outside in the suburbs. Everybody was inside. Yeah, so, and we did eventually walk on the street, and cars would beat their horns at us because we was in the middle of the street, but we didn't hear them. You know what I mean? So, they was, my dad. He was my dad. I love him, but he had his own life to live, and he couldn't always chase us around and wherever my mom had us. He had to live a life too, and and as far as me being angry, my mom got with a man, and she got remarried, and that was a disaster. So that didn't help,
just not a stable home life. Then that was a big part of it. She's not having a stable home life.
Once my mom married my stepfather, it was stable, but he wanted us to be something we wasn't. Right. He didn't like the way we talked. He was a white man, but and he was good. He was a good husband to my mom. He was a good stepfather to my sisters, but to me and Joe, who already had an identity, it was really hard. He wanted us to part our hair on the side, like, because I'm Puerto Rican, so I used to comb my hair back. I had little lines in my head, a V, and I had a rat tail. He hated that. He wanted me to comb my hair, do the comb over thing, and he didn't like the way I spoke. Huh?
Yeah, that would right there would explain any anger, because he's totally trying to. I mean, I get trying to instill. It feels like you don't have discipline or something. I get trying to instill that, but telling you how to part your hair, I mean, that I would be pissed too.
He didn't like the way our vernacular, like, growing up in New York, when we wanted to hear the TV louder, we'd say higher the TV. And he'd be like, and to this day, I hate when people correct my English. It drives me, and it was because of him. Yeah. And he'd be like, "You mean to say raise the volume?" I was like, "You know what I mean to say?" Like, it was like all the time. Every time I said something, it wasn't good enough because it didn't sound like the way he did, but it sounded like how I grew up. So, my mom passed when I was 15. And I stood for him one more year after that. But after that, I couldn't stay, and I moved out on my own. So, did
it get worse after your mom passed?
He could care less about me and my brother, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
My sisters, like I said, he was a good father to my stepfather to my sisters, but me and Joe were not what he envisioned as his sons growing up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Now he did pay attention to me and Joe when we played football, because his two sons were not athletically inclined at all, whereas me and my brother were. So he was excited about that, but other than that, nothing else.
So he just had the two boys before he got married to your mom. So there was how many of you then? 6?
6.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I was the oldest.
So it definitely you had to step up and be more of a maybe take the brunt of his anger away from your brother and stuff?
No, he didn't really pay attention to it. It was me that caught everything, and a lot of it was because I was defiant. I was, I enjoyed getting on his nerves, and I did it on purpose.
Okay. What about today? Do you have a relationship with him at all today?
No.
You haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah.
Do you feel
After
like
my
you'd
mom
like
passed, that was, huh?
What do you feel like you'd like to see him and talk to him, or no? Don't want anything
Not
to do with him.
necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, if I saw him, I'd, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 but I don't have an urge to see how he's doing.
What about your sisters? Do they still have a decent relationship with him? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He was a good father to them.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, like I said, he was a good husband to my mom. He was a good father to he was a good stepfather to my sisters. Me and Joe were baggage.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But I'm okay with that because, like I said, he was good to my mom and my sisters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by the fragile lamp you have up there.
You like that? It is fragile, ain't it?
It is fragile.
I had to have it.
It's
I saw it and I had to have it. There was no way I wasn't going to have it.
it. I just got distracted by it. Okay. So, and your mom passed when you were 15, which is, do you have any other family around besides your brothers and sisters?
No.
Your grandma,
No.
your aunts, none of them?
They were all in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
We were the only ones in Virginia.
Okay. And you
No.
never went saw them again or didn't have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to see them from time to
Now,
time.
yeah, like it's just the reason why. Okay. So my dad did not abandon us. When my mom passed, my dad actually was like, listen, it was my dad, Howard was my stepfather, and my aunt, Titi Sulma. And they all took me into the room and they said, listen, this is the deal. My dad's name is Tito. He said, Tito of course, wants you boys to go live with him. Of course, Howard wants to keep my sisters because their dad was a big time drug dealer. And my mom was actually hiding us from him. So they couldn't go back. And and my dad was like, listen, and I understand those are your sisters, so I'm willing to take custody of your sisters too. Well, I knew my mom brought us to Virginia for a reason, get us out of Brooklyn. My grandmother wanted us, but that was never going to happen. So we ended up, I made the decision that we were all going to stay together with Howard. But I couldn't take more than a year of it, and I moved away. I moved out.
You were 17.
I was 16.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay with friends or something for a while until you were legal to get your own place.
Back then, they didn't have the internet, so you could lie on it. I look older than what I did. I had a full-time job at a restaurant, so I got roommates, and I lied on the application and got an apartment.
So I didn't lie. My parents signed for mine, but I was 17 when I got my first apartment. But the same thing.
Yeah.
I had roommates. We worked at fast food places or restaurants.
Yeah, I worked at a restaurant
all the time. And
well, with me, I actually continued to go to high school.
Okay.
I enrolled myself in a high school. I lied, said I put my mom's name down when I went in. Every form that I had to take home, I put my, and after a while, they caught on to it. They said, hold up. Your mom passed away. We saw the obituary. Who do you live with? And I was like, I live with myself. They was like, what? And they was like, where? I lived in Newport News, which was not the district I was supposed to be in high school, but it's where I started high school at. So when I came to, at any rate, so they realized what was going on. And because my mom just recently passed away, I don't live at home with a parent, but I still enrolled myself in high school. They looked the other way.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, it got to the point where I was unofficially what's that word? Emancipated.
Yeah.
I was unofficially emancipated. Like, I would come to school late, and I would walk into my principal's office, and I got to the point where I was late because I was feeling sick this morning, and I'd give it to him. I'd sign it, and I'd hand it over to the dean of boys, who was, the assistant principal, and they worked it out because we had block scheduling. That they had just started block scheduling, where you had English, math, social studies one day, and then the next day it was science. So they said, listen, because they knew I worked a full-time job and it was difficult. I'd get home till 3 a.m. I would come to school late a lot. So they would say, listen, if you come, and if you have only 2 classes in one day, you come to school late, it's almost the whole day's gone.
Yeah.
So there's like, as long as you make it to 1 class a day and then do the homework, do the work, we'll count you present for the whole day.
I mean, doing something good for the kid. I mean, that's not something schools. I mean,
no,
not that schools are bad, but nowadays it's black and white. It's black and white. You brought some Tylenol to school, so you're gone for 2 weeks. You know, but to bend the rules to actually do something that was benefiting the kid, that's amazing.
Well, in fact, it's funny that you said it, because when I was in middle school, my mom was still alive. I used to get in trouble fighting, disrespect, skipping class, skipping the entire school day. I remember Mr. Pearson was my principal in middle school, and he pulled me into his office. He said, listen, Jay, I hope you know I ain't sending you to high school with the real kids. I'm going to send you to Buckrow Skills Center with the animals. Buckrow Skills Center was the tech school that they send. It was like, no hope for you. We're going to go ahead and make you a mechanic, because you ain't going to be able to do nothing else. Anyway, I ended up going to high school. This was Mr. Pearson told me that. I'm not sending you with all the real kids. You're going where all the animals go. I ended up going to high school. 9th grade year. Fine. 10th grade year. Hey, we got a new principal. Who could that be? Mr. Pearson.
Yeah.
Who I never looked twice at. He never spoke to me in the halls for 3 years. 9th, 10th, 11th. He came in my 10th grade, 10, 11, 12. Never said nothing to me. So my senior year, my first semester, I failed. I got a letter. You failed the semester because you were absent way too many times. So you can appeal it. So what I did was I go to the library, and I'd go on a microfiche, and I would copy BS obituary, funerals.
The obituary stuff. Yeah.
So I would be like, yo, I was at this funeral. I had this appointment. Da 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 da. And they would go, okay, you have an excuse. You didn't fail because of absences. My second semester, the very last semester, I go in. I say, hey, Mr. Pearson, I was absent yesterday. It was my last absent before I failed for absences. He was like, did you get the letter? I said, no. I said, that's why I'm coming in now. I was absent yesterday. It hadn't got to me yet. He's like, come see me when you get the letter. I said, I don't got time for that. I just want to get started on the process now. He said, I argued with him for 10 minutes on why I wanted, and he's looking at me. He said, listen to me, son. Get out my office until you get that letter. When you get the letter, then you come over here. And I was, okay. So Mr. Pearson, yeah.
He realized that you weren't.
I was,
bad kid. You weren't,
I wasn't that same kid in middle school, because after my mom died, I mean, how many other teenagers would go to school by themselves,
Yeah.
And
what made you do that? What made you think, you know what, I need to finish high school? What was it that made
my mom wanted me to finish high school. Okay. She didn't finish high school. She didn't finish high school. She wanted me to finish. So I was the first one to finish high school. I don't even think my dad finished high school, so.
Gotcha.
The Miss Dobbins, I remember her name. She was German. She was the secretary in the office, the main office, and I had to pay my fees before to graduate, and I had acquired $400 in fees of missing books and stuff like that. She was like, Jason, $400. She looked around, she ripped it up. So
Wow.
Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia, had a lot to do with being able to do anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
That's a great story because, we always hear the other side of stuff. They kicked me out for something silly. They did this, they did that. And today that is a lot more common, right? They just have very strict rules and everything's black and white. So to know that the school went above and beyond because they saw something in you.
Well, I was respectful to my teachers. I was respectful. I think that's the problem. There's no respect for these kids. Why would these adults put their jobs, put their careers on the line for a child that's so disrespectful? Like, I just don't get it. It's a different time. I get that, but these kids don't understand that. And even I got that. I understood it. Listen, I need to get along with other people to make it. I understood that as a child. Over here, nowadays, these kids don't realize you have to, that person that you just cussed out, you may need them later on in life. You don't know them. Like, why do these kids feel like they need to be respected? So I was respectful, and I tried hard, and they saw that. You know what I mean? They saw that, so they was willing to help and stick their neck out for me because they could have gotten every one of them in that faculty, every one of them at that school. My teachers, the assistant principal, the dean of boys, the school counselors, the principal, they all could have got in trouble for letting me do that.
Yeah,
but they,
And you ended up graduating then.
Not only did I graduate, yes, I actually graduated, and it was the first year. My senior year was the first year I ever had on a roll. I graduated with more credits than I needed. Where before that, I was a F student. I was bad.
But you didn't care. You just didn't care.
I didn't care. I'm dyslexic. And back then in middle school, they didn't know what dyslexia was. So instead of being the dumb kid, I was the bad kid. Okay. That was another reason why I was so angry as a child too. I was always the dumb kid. So I acted up to hide that.
It's beyond your control too. It's something totally beyond your control. You weren't dumb. You just you had a learning disability that affect. Does it affect you a lot today? This dyslexia?
Yes, but I know about it. And I know how to navigate it. So I can do the same things anybody else can do. I just do it way differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to Mr. Pearson. So my son, Angel Maldonado. Maldonado in Virginia is an odd name. It's not like up north or down here in Florida where there's Maldonados everywhere. Yeah. So he graduated. And at this point, Mr. Pearson was like in the school administration board. He's one of them people who, when you graduate, they're sitting up there and you don't know who the heck they are.
Yeah.
He was that. He was one of them.
They're taking credit for you and you've never even seen him before.
I've never even seen the people. Yeah. So my son, he graduates. He's walking across. Angel Maldonado, And Mr. Pearson was there. And he looks. Now, my son is half white and tall as hell. So he hears the name Maldonado. He remembers me and my brother Joe. And he sees my ex-wife who I was dating in high school. So, but the Maldonado part. So anyway, Angel is with his mom afterwards, and Mr. Pearson walks up. He says, Maldonado. He says, yes. He was like, are you Joe's son? Because Joe is not me. Joe is my brother. And Liz goes, no, you know whose son he is. And he kind of just put, he didn't smile. Mr. Pearson did not smile. So he just, Liz said that he just kind of shook his head and one little crack on the side of his lip. Yeah. And I hope he understood that boy was graduating because of what he did for me.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty
cool.
And
I think he did. So
here's Mr. Pearson.
Yeah, Mr. Pearson.
We need more Mr. Pearsons. I wonder if that's a part of why you and Drew are good a friend as you are, a little bit, you guys just sort of naturally fit together with your sense of humor and everything. But I think part of the fact that he is a teacher maybe has a little bit to do, because you see how he's taking care of these kids, and that's why it's so important to you to do things like that. Thanksgiving fun drive.
Yeah, and I do have a respect for teachers. I really do.
Yeah.
But me and Fishy Biz have a history that it was rocky at first.
Yeah.
Really rocky.
I think I know this. I think either you or he told me a little bit or something.
So first of all, it was Rob 93 who first brought Fishy Biz to my attention.
And still around.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I know. I miss him. I always liked Rob.
So, and I was very hesitant because I had just been in the middle of somebody doing me dirty who I considered a YouTube friend. I'm like, yeah. So I was really hesitant, but I came around, and there was a certain YouTuber out there that was had it out for me. It still does, but that's fine.
You told me this. I remember this. Yep. I remember.
And I told Biz, I said, Biz, listen, I'm not one of those guys who, it's zero sum type deal. Like, it's not either you or me or this and that. I'm just letting you know, you can hang out who you want to. I don't care. But be careful with this guy. He will give you an ultimatum. He will tell you not to speak to me. No. But Biz had to find out for himself. And when he did, talk to this other YouTuber and whatever, and kind of, and allow this other YouTuber to get in, I backed away and I said, you know what? I'm not going to fight it. He's a grown man. He can make whatever decision. And eventually what I said was going to happen did happen. And Biz came to me and said, I didn't know. And so I respected him for finding out for himself.
Yeah.
And at the end, not taking a sub count into consideration on whether or not he should be my friend or not. Because the other person was a very, very high YouTube, high sub count. So, no, I respect Biz for that. And plus our humor is,
Yeah, definitely. In fact, I want to talk about that in a minute, but that's the right way to do it, right? By just not saying anything and just letting him find out on his own, because if you say something, then you're pushing and you're
pushing. Yep. You're pushing. So I just said, you know what? I'm not a child. I'm not going to have a schoolyard fight over a girl, because that's what it made me feel like. It's my girlfriend. It's my girlfriend. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that will get me more pissed off. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to get me more pissed off than having a childish conversation. I'll have a fun conversation.
Yeah.
But if it's a serious conversation on a childish platform or childish, circumstances, it makes me angry. So I don't do that.
Your sense of humor got me in trouble. Because
what did I do?
You were over there. You and Joe, not your brother, but I forgot his name.
Joe Munoz.
Yep.
He
Joe
smelled so bad. Joe smelled so bad that he gave my phone a virus from typing on, just from having his text go across my screen.
So the three of you, it was on Drew's channel, and the three of you were just like,
I remember it
after each other. And I was the very first time I went in there, and I made some joke about Drew's mom. And he's like, he finally gets down to it in the chat. And he's like, man, what is this guy talking about my mom like that? And I was like, hey, you guys were doing it. I just thought it was okay, And so it was your fault. And he didn't know what to think of me at first.
I saw that and I was like, did he just say yo mama? I was just like, it's minorities in general don't go there. It reminded me of, have you ever seen the Steve Martin movie with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah? There's a movie with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah, and he's pretending to be, down or whatever. He goes to this party and it's all blacks. They're all thuggish and all that. And he's listening to people crack jokes on each other. And so he figures, okay, this is what I have to do. And somebody said something about his outfit, and he says, "Oh, really? Because I got this outfit from your mama." And everybody just stops. Like,
music stopped, everything.
Yeah. And that reminds me of that. Yeah. That's what it reminded me.
Knew that I was joking, and you know,
and Biz is one of the most laid back, roll off your water on the duck's back type of dude. So yeah, he probably is like, huh, and then he just moves on. He does not.
He brought it up later, you know.
Yeah, but he doesn't hold a grudge.
No, he wasn't upset, but he was like, man, he told me about it, you know. He just he remembered for a long time. That's all. He wasn't holding a grudge. He did remember.
No. Yeah.
All right, let's get away from Drew though, because we're going to talk too much about him. We need to focus on you. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, he does suck though.
I really like Drew. I just like you. We talked about this losing connection. Same with Drew. Like I never stay up that late anymore. If I never see his live streams, and I lost connection with both you guys. I used to talk to you know, once or twice a week at least, you know, at least, and then we just, I don't know, we just all lost.
It just happens, yeah. I don't get, because I've been doing this for a minute. I don't get offended when people don't come to my lives that normally used to come to my life. I don't get offended when people don't comment on my videos. And, well, how come so and so didn't say anything? They didn't watch my video. I just do. People show up. They do. They don't. You know. I don't. And when I do see them, it's like nothing. No time has passed. So no.
I do notice, but I notice just because I start to worry about, you know, especially somebody who I see all the time, and then they just disappear. You know, you don't see them anymore, and I start to worry about them. Not that they're not there watching videos, but that's something that's happened to them. That's where it comes in. So, anyways, back to you. So you got through high school with a lot of help and a pretty rough high school. What about your brother Joe? How you said Joe's not me, so. I'm not Joe, you said earlier.
Okay.
Is Joe a lot different than you? Did he have a little bit easier with stuff with school, or what was his path? I know we're talking about you, but I feel like
my brother is a huge part of my life, so you can't really talk about me without adding my brother. So growing up, me and my brother are Irish twins, 10.5 months apart. That's what they call siblings born within 12 months of each other, for if people didn't know what that meant. People used to always think we were twins, like that we looked alike. I don't see it, but everybody seems to see it. Even my daughter, when she first saw my brother, she was like, looks at me, looks at my brother, like, there's two of y'all. But my brother was always quiet. He was very quiet. He was sweet. I was
not
at all. Not at all. In fact, like even the terminology that they used for us was so night and day. Joe, you're gonna be a football player, because he was bigger than me. You're gonna be a football player. He was always gonna be something great and famous. I was going to be a ladies' man, a papi chulo, a playboy. And they treated me as such. Like, you know, women would play around and be like, "Oh, it's my little boyfriend." And Joe was like, "Oh, look, big, strong Joe." So, but Joe was always quiet, but Joe always had my back. No matter what I did, Joe was always there. So it allowed me to be more daring. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I had Joe with me.
Yeah.
Even though Joe was like, "Jay, don't do that. Don't do that, Jay. We're gonna get in trouble." Yeah. He would still be there.
Yeah.
So I could tell that big dude, "Hey, man, kiss my, do this," you know, because I know there was always two of us.
There was always two of you. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There was always two of you.
It was just.
I'm jealous of that. I have an older brother. Never had that. Never had that relationship.
I will tell you something on your live stream that I've never spoken about.
Ooh,
I
okay.
haven't even told Joe this. Because me and Joe don't have we have that relationship where, yo, you good? Yeah, I'm good. And that's all the conversation we need. We know everything, you know what I mean? But like getting heart to heart, we've just, you know what I mean? We feel from each other what we need to feel. We don't speak it out loud. You know, I guess that's that masculinity, that toxic masculinity everybody always talks about. But I like it. It works for us.
I mean, as long as it does, but hopefully there's nothing unsaid that, you know, that
there's nothing unknown. There's probably a lot unsaid, but he knows how I feel about him, and I know how he feels about me. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like we think they know, but we've never told them.
Yeah. No, Joe knows.
Let's call him right now.
He's in Hawaii.
I don't care.
He's probably Ubering somewhere.
We're gonna tell him, I want to hear you say I love you, Joe.
I don't think we've ever said those words. I don't think we ever said those words to each other. So anyway, here's the thing. Everybody always thought that I was the outgoing one. I was the larger than life one. I was the daring one. I was this. I was that. And Joe was always along for the ride. And I used to think that too. Until one day, it was in New Jersey, and I was going through a particularly rough time in my life, and I had a dream. I had a dream that I was helpless. I was sitting there. I couldn't, like when I say I was paralyzed in my dream, I wasn't physically paralyzed. Mentally, emotionally, I just couldn't. Like, and I remember Joe standing there, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" And Joe says, "Come with me." And I was like, "I can't." He said, "Yeah, you can. Come with me." And so I'm following my brother Joe. And I remember in my dream thinking to myself, I'm just gonna do whatever Joe tells me because I don't know what to do. And then I woke up and I thought about that dream. I thought about that dream. I thought about that dream, and I was wondering what that is not hardcore relationship.
How old were you roughly? How old roughly? 15,
let me see.
18?
No, not at all. My daughter's 10. I'm 47. My daughter's 10. She was probably 3. So
okay,
you know,
yeah, not that long ago.
No, not at all. I was a grown adult. But I was going through a rough time in my life. My brother was locked up in jail at the time, so it's not like I could call him. Anyway, I figured out what the dream meant. I could not be me unless Joe was there backing me up.
Yeah.
So all that wild Jay, that was Joe allowing me to be that.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah. You wouldn't have been who you were. Yeah. There's
a
phrase for that. There's a phrase for that. It's a South African word. It's also an operating system for computers, but it's called Ubuntu. And it's basically, it means, I love I love it. It basically means I can't be me unless you are you. We don't have that. I can only be me with you. No, we're all connected. We're all part of the same thing. It's a very superficial explanation of the word, but
but I get it.
It basically means that I can't be me without you being you.
Yeah, no, 100% get it. 100% get it. Yeah, I would not be who I am today without Joe allowing me to be the idiot I was back then.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I thought I was bulletproof, and I thought I was bulletproof, when in fact he was my shield.
Gotcha.
You know, so
that's deep. That's deep. I like it.
Yeah.
And somebody out there needs to get that clip to Joe so that he knows that.
Yeah.
But he's in Hawaii. He knows. What's he doing out in Hawaii?
Oh, he's Ubering. My brother's a hustler. He's never been. After my mom died, he really came into his own because he wasn't Jay's little brother anymore. He was Joe. You know, he became his own person after my mom died when I was 15. He was 14. And he never was the type to be cool doing ordinary stuff, which like working a blue collar job and all that.
Yeah.
It was never him. In fact, if you ever met my brother, you would think that he was the one he's larger than life. You know, he's way different than when he was grown up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he does things that allows him freedom. He cannot be tied down. So, whereas me, I'm content with the structure of a normal life.
We've got about 15 minutes left on our portion before we open it up to the chat. So yeah, because there's a lot of good stuff here. There's a lot to unpack and a lot of it. I don't think we're going to get to all of it. So we'll have to have you come back in the future as well. But so let's jump up a little bit. How did you meet? What's your nickname for her?
Maida.
Maida.
Yeah, her real name is Omaida.
Okay.
Omayra. O-M-A. Oh yeah, Omayra.
Omayra.
Yeah, that's how you spell it. Normally, when she talks to white people or people not of Hispanic, she calls herself Omayra. But if you were Puerto Rican speaking Spanish, you Omaida. Omaida. So when I first met her, I met her at a club. I was working as a bouncer. She was the door girl, and I heard Maida. So it was always Maida.
Gotcha.
To me.
So, and that was how long ago again? You told us earlier. I forgot. You can say it quietly so it doesn't.
I think it was like 17 or 18 years ago or something like that.
And did you guys get together super quick?
No, I resisted. Like I said, I was not going to have a relationship with. Actually, at the time, I was juggling. You know.
Yeah.
I was living a great single man's life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I didn't get that tattoo for nothing. Right there.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see it now. I couldn't tell what it was before. Is that scissors?
Yeah.
You're scissoring with people? What?
Yeah, I was.
What is that? It's bunny ears. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was chasing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does she knows that?
Yeah, she knows that.
Okay.
She don't like to admit it, but she definitely knows that. I was very resistant.
Yeah.
I was content with how I was living.
What broke it? What was it that broke you down? She was just so persistent?
You know, it was never one. It wasn't like it was like slowly she'd want to hang out with me and I wouldn't want to hang out with this other girl. And then it came down. Then she'd be like, "Hey, you want to go here?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, give me a second. Hey, look, I can't meet up." So slowly they all kind of just, I let the other ones just kind of, and then it was just her. There was not a moment. It was just over time, I just rather had been with her over the other ones.
Yeah, you realize. And was it pretty smooth? I mean, did you guys break up?
I was. Oh.
What? I meant like that. Like, did you like break up and separate a few times? Have you always been together since you were together? I mean,
well, we had one small rocky part, but that was because I was resistant to moving to New Jersey. She really needed to be around family. The way I grew up, I never cared to be around family. I still kind of don't. Yeah. Because I was always, and my son was in Virginia. But she really wanted to be around her family. And I was like, I don't care about being around family. And then I started thinking, I was like, he's in high school. He's about to go off to college or the military. Because she had moved. She went to New Jersey and left me in Virginia. And I'm sitting there. I was like, all right, at least I have Angel for about 2 more years. And then nobody. I was like,
Angel is her son too. Angel's from somebody else. Before.
Yeah, my ex-wife. Okay. My son he just turned 25.
Okay.
On the 23rd.
My
in the Air Force
is 22. My youngest is 22. My oldest is. Both of my oldest are old. Anyways, so you were married how long before?
before Mida?
Yeah.
Like, how long was I separated before I got with
How long were you
Mida?
together with your ex-wife?
Oh, from 9th grade, 10th
Oh,
grade. Yeah, we were
okay.
high school sweethearts.
Okay.
Through the Army, so 95. So that's about 8 years or something like that
You didn't
altogether.
get into your work, the Army, all that stuff. We have so much we still need to talk about. We barely scratched. We got the fun stuff at the beginning, but
Oh, there's a whole lot in between.
we need to get to some of that. We're definitely going to have to do a second part because we only got like 10 minutes left for our part, and then we let them ask you questions. So, but I do want to schedule a bunch of second parts because I've done like 110 of these or so, and a lot of people like Drew never got to finish his part. Some stuff came up that night. There's been a lot of other people that have massive life changes since we started doing it 3 years ago. So we'll put you on the list for another one.
Yeah, I can tell you, even what I've told you so far, there's still things in between of that. That
See,
I don't know. I've had a very full life. I will not have regrets of not living a life when I die.
Gotcha. I like hearing all this stuff, because it adds. We talk about fish all the time, right? I mean, we talk about all this stuff, and I know you're pretty open about things on your live streams. You talk about your life quite a bit, but there's still a lot of the stuff I had no idea about.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't talk about because it's not funny. It's more emotional, and
I like to see grown men cry. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that quite a few times, but I'm usually crying too, so it's okay.
You're a sicko. That's what you are.
I cry all the time. I don't mind. I ain't afraid. I'll cry right now. Push me. Make me. I'll cry. All right. Well, let's just quickly talk. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
I think that's why a lot of that stuff would make people cry, so I don't do that.
Yeah. And this is a little bit different because it's, we do try to get to know people and get to find out those emotional things, and because again, we have so much more in common than that separates us. You know what I mean? So I feel like when we get to know people, then a lot of the misunderstandings and stuff go away because we just know that person better. We know, there's no way they meant that. They meant this instead, or at least we know that we can say, hey, did you mean that? Did you mean this? And they'll be like, no, I at least you can have some communication.
Yeah, and it's awesome that you even bother to add. I remember you calling me up, asking me what I meant when I said something on one of my members only thing, and I was like, no, okay. I appreciated that you just didn't go like, this mother I said this, that, and another. I was like, that's not what I meant. But you're right. You say things in an hour-long block, and and then you got to go on to the next thing and the next thing, and then so a lot of things get lost in translation. You're 100% right on that.
People think you meant one thing, and no matter how well you explain, people take it and think you mean something that you didn't even come close to meaning.
I've said so many silly things. I could only imagine what people think I mean by some of the things. Dude, there's so many times I've turned off. I'm like, all right, I'm off live, and I'll be like, I wonder what they thought of that. Like, I know, like, why did I say that?
Why did I say that? Yeah,
I rarely say why did I say that. I don't regret anything I've said. I regret more things that I haven't said. But once I say it, I think to myself, well, that was new. Like the one that got people really going for a while. And I felt like at one point I was like the gay representative to FishTube because I was on a live stream and like I said, these are my thoughts, and I don't have a problem speaking. My thoughts may be a little erratic, but this is just how I think. And I remember we was talking, Fishy Biz was on there, and I'm trying to think of who else was on there. And we was talking about relationships, and I remember thinking to myself, say, man, if me and Mike ever split up, I'm just gonna be gay.
I think I remember that too.
I'm going to, yeah. And I said I was going to hook up with Patrick Ewing because he was ugly and I wouldn't have to worry about somebody stealing him. And he could help me move tanks and he could reach stuff on the top shelf and stuff like that. And I remember the reaction I got from that, but my sub count raised. And I'm like, I wonder who these people are. But I was like, I'm wondering, like, if they're like, oh, he's one of us. And I remember for about 2 years after that, it would keep coming up. It would keep coming up. And I'm like, I don't regret saying it, but it was 100% spur of the moment. I was like, just going to be gay. It's so much easier. I know what they thinking.
Well,
I know what to get them for Christmas.
There isn't. No, I'm not going to go there. I was going to go a little serious, but we're not going to go there. We're going to open it up to the chat because
there we go.
We have a lot of there are a lot of the LGBTQIA people in our community, and a lot of them are very close friends of mine, and I do want to know them to know that they are very loved and supportive. You know, because especially the stuff happening today in our country. Some of the people don't feel like that they're welcomed, but they are always welcome here. So,
I personally, I don't understand it. I hold my masculinity as an identity feature for me.
Okay,
and I'm happy with that. But I know not other people understand my views on my life. So for me to push my view on somebody else's life, surrealism is what I strive for. Like when I get into a situation where I was like, I never thought I would experience that, I'm happy. Like I am so happy when I'm around different. Period.
Gotcha.
I don't know why everybody wants to be the same. It sucks. Like, variety is a spice of life, and
the most important part of that is the beginning when you said, it's your life and this is how you live. But that's where it ends. You don't get to tell anybody else how to live their life. And too many people want to do that. Yeah.
I think a lot of people need to get the unclench the sphincters and just be chill.
Yeah.
Just be chill. And my favorite, I only know one poem. It's by Langdon Hughes. And I never knew who said it. I didn't even know. I just knew the words, and I knew what it meant. Ever since I was in middle school, I remember it, and I didn't. When I first heard it, couldn't really grasp it. I just knew for some reason I like it. You know what I mean? It's Langdon Hughes was I think he was like in the 50s, a Black American poet, and he says, this is a I stay cool. I stay cool. I dig all jive. That's the way I stay alive. My motto as I live and learn is dig and be dug in return. You know what I mean? And that was so impactful in my life. Like I stay cool. I dig all jive. Like everything. You know what I mean? I respect all the people's jive. You know, that's the way I stay alive. My motto as I live and learn is dig and be dug in. Respect their stuff and they'll respect your stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how I live my life. Ever since I was young, I've never had a bias or towards any person unless they did something to me.
Yeah.
Other than that, like
respect until they take it away. I don't care for poetry, but I have a favorite poem too.
Yeah.
It's by Will Wheaton, and he says, "Don't be a dick." That's my favorite poem.
That's Wesley Crusher.
You know, Wesley Crusher.
Wesley Crusher.
Yep, don't be a dick. And I believe in that. I think if you just treat everybody with respect until they don't deserve it anymore. You know that phrase used to be, "You got to earn my respect." I'm not better than you.
Yeah.
You've got my respect until you do something to take it away. I've always said that. And
see, I'm the opposite in that. I don't respect anyone. I'll treat everybody with social respect. You know what I mean? Like we live in a society. There's certain ways we treat each other. You know what I mean?
You're kind
But
to people, but respect is a different thing for you. Respect is different for you.
Yeah, I need something about you for me to respect you. You
Gotcha.
know, be kind to people. That's a given.
Yeah.
You know, don't be a dick. That's a given. But the word respect is a big thing for me. Because I've met a lot of people that I was supposed to respect, but I never felt like they deserved it. So I was like, why don't I just hold off on the actual respect part until I figure out who they are?
Yeah.
Treating them kindly, treating them with manners, yes.
Dignity.
Yeah, but you know, like to put them on a level of respect, I need to know. But kids these days, they don't understand that, and they feel like, and I say this because I the word respect is special to me, and I've heard the words from children, "You disrespected me," and I'm like, oh my god, that's a trigger for me. Like, you're 15 years old and you just told me I disrespected you. Who are you for me to respect you? What have you done? You know, what have you done to deserve respect?
Yeah.
Just because you exist, that don't mean you deserve anything.
See, that's how I differ. Is I think that just because you exist, that you do deserve that respect. But I think we're just putting a different emphasis on the word. I think when it comes to the actual meanings and stuff and how we treat people, it's the same. But as soon as they do something to take it away, then it's gone forever. You can't get it back.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I'm the opposite. I don't give it until I feel like they do something to get it. So you give it and then possibly take it away. I don't give it and possibly give it. So
gotcha. Yeah. It's just different.
Either way, the people who deserve it get it.
Yeah. But be kind. That's the biggest part. Okay. Let's jump into that. We didn't even find out what you do for a living. We didn't find out all of that. And I know, but I wanted to talk about it. But so we definitely have to do a second part. But I'm going to open it up to the chat right now. And I see Mikey B, the first person I see, and that is the birthday boy himself, Mikey B. I also see Roots and Whiskers.
Mikey B, watch the beginning of this chat.
Yeah, the very beginning, Mike.
If you wasn't here, you had to watch the beginning. Have to.
And now is a good time. It's about you. You have to. You said all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So now I will feed you questions. They're going to ask you all kinds of stuff. There's some of them that gets asked every single stream. Some of them are new. You never know what they're going to ask you. And we'll start right now. I actually don't see any because I just told people. But go ahead and please do the @RicoScan so it pops out for me so I can see it. And let's find out what you want to know about.
All right.
Mr.
Before
Funk.
anybody asks any questions, I'm gonna let you know right now. This is a big deal for me being on Rico Stan's thing. No softballs, baby. No softballs. Anything goes.
You're gonna get some softballs. It's a pleasure to see you, Lisa. Hi. Coral Works says, so in Funk's own words, what is a Virginia man compared to Florida man, and who would win in a fight?
Virginia man would win in a fight.
Yeah.
All right. Firstly, and I don't know how to explain a Virginia man. I can definitely explain a Florida man. In fact, there's entire YouTube sections dedicated to Florida man.
Yeah.
And I gotta be 100% honest with you. A lot of times I would say those are exaggerated. Not in this case. Florida man is real and alive. And he's doing something silly right now.
All right. Next up is Zen Ginger. Hi. Hard-hitting questions first. With the holiday season upon us, turkey with stuffing or dressing?
Stuffing.
And in or out of the bird?
In. Just ram it all up in there. Let it get all juicy.
Best bird prep: baked, fried. How do you make it? How do you make the turkey?
Mida makes a banging baked turkey with juicy white meat. She knows how to do it. I've tasted the dry cardboard tree bark white meat stuff before, and I was afraid the first time, but she knows she makes a banging turkey. So in the oven, wrapped in aluminum foil with all the stuff, and she knows how to make it so it's not dried out. So
I want some stuffing now.
Dude, I love stuffing.
I do too.
I do.
I need some. I didn't get any at Thanksgiving this year. First year in forever, we didn't have any stuffing at Thanksgiving. I don't know what was going on, but
blasphemy.
It was. I didn't feel right. I still don't feel right. I still haven't had any. I actually bought some. It's on its way here. I had it shipped. You know, I got to make it when it gets here, but
shipped.
Yeah, you know, like stovetop stuffing.
Why shipped?
Because I kept asking for it and never made it. So I don't go to the store myself. Like my wife, you know, I barely leave the house. So
wait. When your wife goes to the store, okay, that's where it gets shipped from.
Yeah,
I thought you was like when my wife goes to the store and buys groceries, I consider that shipping.
No. Well,
go ahead, ship it over here in the station wagon, baby.
Yeah, sort of in a way. It's, you know, because sometimes I make the order and she goes and picks it up. You know, so sometimes, but but just I was doing a test with something. With a card, I was testing out a gift card because I couldn't figure out how to find out what was left on it, and I went and bought some stuffing at Walmart just to make sure it worked. So now I've got 2 canisters of stuffing coming. Anyways, let's keep going. Whip, what's up, brother? Whip says Funk suddenly has generational wealth. That means you have all the money you won't ever have to worry about money for you, your kids, anybody. You can do anything he wants. What's he doing, and where is he doing it at?
Okay. It's not going to be what y'all think. It's going to be a little bit more. First thing. I'm going to, I haven't decided on the destination because there's multiple destinations. I'm going up north, way up north. I think I checked Norway. No, it was a spot in Canada. It's called Yellowknife or something like that in Canada.
Northwest.
And
Northwest
is what it's called.
West. Yeah.
Okay. So, and it has the most days out of the year where you can see the aurora borealis, and I need to see it with my own eyes.
Never seen it.
I don't feel like, honestly, I said I had no regrets on my deathbed. If I don't see the aurora borealis with my own eyes, I want to lie down and look up at the stars. At one point I used to want to go to Alaska and do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know about laying down in the woods at night because I'm afraid of bears.
You can come here. We see it here. Not always, but we do see it here often.
Well, see, that's the thing. If I go, it's going to be, I need to see it. Like, I can't take any chances of not seeing it.
Yeah.
And this place called Yellowknife, or Yellow, whatever, it apparently has, like, it's like out of 365 days, it's like 278 of them you can see it. So, you know, my chances of seeing it would be better there.
Okay. That's the first thing.
That's the first thing. I definitely would want to go to Mardi Gras. It would be more of a destinational thing. Going on a cruise, flying first class. I guess things that people take for granted that honestly I would never, or probably never be able to do.
Yeah.
There's no reason why. It's not like, oh my God, you can fly. Yeah, I can, but if I fly first class, there's a bill not getting paid. You know what I mean? So I'm very practical in my life, to be honest, and I put a lot of things, creature comforts that most people take for granted, I put to the side. I've never been skiing. I've never ridden a horse because it wasn't important compared to something else that at the time that had it. So it would be stuff like that.
You just enjoy life. A lot of traveling and would just enjoy life. And
I would enjoy life without having worries. Believe it or not, I'm a big old worry wart.
I'm with you.
Really big.
like losing sleep quite often about stuff. I'm with you.
It's why I don't drink or do drugs, because people think, oh, you have something, you think it's wrong and it destroys lives. No, part of my worrying about what's got to be done tomorrow is part of my identity. So if I'm drunk or high, I feel like I'm not working at something that needs to get done, and I'm wasting time.
Whoa, that's not good.
Yeah, that's I envy people. How do I relax? I don't really relax. I really don't.
You got to find a way, man.
Yeah, I actually envy
that stressful. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I tell people all the time I envy people who can say, man, I just need to go have a beer, because that's the answer, right? You had a shitty day, crappy day, sorry. And that's the answer. Or somebody who's like, oh, I just need a blunt. They have an answer to that problem immediate. I don't have that. I don't have that one thing that will take me away and then bring me back later to continue. I feel like that time away, I'm wasting time.
Yeah, that's not healthy. Yeah. It's not a healthy way to live. You've got to have something. It doesn't have to be drink or drugs. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be that, but it's got to be a book. It's got to be a video game. It's got to be just time with your family. It's got to be something where you can just relax and not worry about the next day.
Now, and then even my aquariums, that's the closest thing I have to it. Like right now, I'm in the process of being amazed at watching sea anemones split in half. So my curiosity of nature, and the things that animals do, that's probably the only thing. But even then, I'm like, it's still in the back of my head. It's never completely gone. What I have to do tomorrow or next week or next month is never gone. So when you ask me about, generational wealth, what would I would do? Live my life without having to worry. And enjoy my life without having to worry. That's it.
Yeah. That says a lot about you in different ways, good and bad. Good and bad. I mean, because you're taking care of your family, right? And that's a priority, and you're willing to put yourself, but at the same time, you got to have something that can just, shut that off. But my wife is much the same way, though. She really is. When it comes to that, she's always thinking about the next part coming up. Okay, we did this, but now here's the next thing that has to happen. And there's always, so, okay, let's keep going. Scotty says, since I didn't get to ask, what do you do for a living? And you don't have to go too in depth, because when you do come back, I want to get into how you got into it. But I know what you do for a living.
I'm an AC installer. Yeah. Air conditioning installer. I put air conditionings in people's homes.
And I noticed you didn't say HVAC, because you don't do a lot of heat, right?
I don't do a lot of heat here in Florida, but the reason why I don't say HVAC is and I guess we'll get into this next time, but I don't like my job. I don't really care. Okay. I call them ACs ever since I was a kid, so that's what I'm gonna keep calling them. I'm not proud of it. I don't have aspirations of being the best AC installer in the world. No.
Okay, but still, it's an honest living, and it does well enough. You obviously have well enough.
It's always hiring, and that's why I do it.
Yeah, it's easy to find a job.
Yeah,
IT was the same way. IT was the same way. I could always go anywhere and find an IT job. Yeah. And hi, Scotty. J-Rock, hello. Jorge, what's up, Jorge? So
George.
What's it like to be so short that he doesn't recognize people's face, but he knows what everyone's navel looks like? You wanted the important questions. You didn't want to
Mexicali is not that tall to make comments like that. I recently just went to the hospital to do a checkup, and I'm 5'7.5", and I think Mexicali's shorter. So I don't understand where that. I mean, it's not tall by no means, but you know, Mexicali is gonna try. I'm 4 feet and 13 inches. No, man, you're 5'1". Ain't no such thing as 13 inches.
Uh, next up is Big Cat, and he wants to know if you believe in aliens.
Yeah, I believe that this universe is way too big for the possibility. I mean, mathematically, the possibility is for aliens opposed to aliens.
Yeah.
I believe in that.
I think we should change that up a little bit, Big Cat, and ask if do you believe that aliens have ever visited us? Because almost everybody has that same response. Then do you think aliens have ever actually visited our planet?
Or are they like actively right now running around sticking things in people's probing them right now? Do you know, honestly, I can't say. I would hate to think that they was, because what would they think of us?
Well, if they're out there probing people, I mean, at least we should know where it's at in case we wanted to go. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
What would they think of our you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, humans suck.
Yeah.
They suck so bad. Look what they're doing.
I mean, I think they'd find some things about us to like, you know, especially some of our arts and things, and some of our charities and things that we do. But overall,
to answer the question. Personally, it'd be nice to think that they was, but I don't think so. I really don't. Way too many eyes, way too many people, wait for there not to be clear-cut, undisputable evidence. Even accidentally, one just fell up through the freaking sky in my house. You know, I don't really think that they're up there.
Conspiracies have to be tiny, tiny things, because you get 50 people involved, it's coming out. You know?
Yeah, you know. So, I don't think so.
Brandon B. Wizzle wants to know what your favorite Pokemon is and why. Brandon's a big Pokemon guy.
I know he is. Him and Gina.
Yeah.
I find listen, I love both of y'all, but I cannot bring myself to get into that. I don't. I'm not into Pokemon. I don't understand it. I don't. It's not that I don't understand it. It's just I don't.
The appeal.
Huh?
You don't get the appeal. You just don't understand the appeal of it. I'm with you.
It's. I mean, and you think about it. I mean, I'm sure people have made this correlation before. It's cockfighting. You go around and steal animals out of the woods against their will, and then you keep them trapped up and train them to fight other animals. It's illegal, is what it is, and unethical.
I didn't actually ever think of it that way.
Yeah, it's cockfighting.
Let's see.
It's celebrated.
Coral's next. He says, "What is Funk's favorite fish to eat, and would you keep it if you could have the setup for it? What kind of fish do you like to eat the most, and would you keep it as a pet?"
Okay, so a lot of people go, I don't like catfish because it's a fishy flavor. But when I'm craving the flavor of fish, I kind of want the fishy flavor. Sure. You know what I mean? So yeah. I if I had one fish to eat my entire life, it would be catfish. And as far as keeping it, it depends on which type. There's so many. There's blue channel cats. There's red-tailed cats. There's bull cats. And they all pretty much could be kept in anything. Them jokers do not die. A pond. Yeah. I would. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I like catfish.
I do. I think the strong flavor is what I like about it.
I mean, I there's other ones. Salmon, and I mean even whiting and tilapia. I'll even eat that, even though people will talk about how bad it is. But I
like all fish. Yeah. I like all fish, but if I had to eat a fish, I want it to taste like a fish.
Yeah.
And that is the most fishy fish you could taste.
Fried,
baked, yeah.
That doesn't have
blackened. Yeah, no, I like seafood in almost every form.
I want some catfish and stuffing now.
Yeah.
Nathan wants to know what fish we. Oh yeah, so everybody in the hobby gets to keep one type of fish. What is that fish?
Okay, so I think a lot of people would expect me to say angels. And from all the fish that I have kept in my life, it would be angels. But I would really, really like to have snakeheads.
So everybody keeps snakeheads.
Oh, everybody in the world?
Yeah,
Keep
everybody
one
gets
fish?
one type of fish. Everybody can only have that. That's
Everybody
the
gets snakeheads. Yes.
Snakeheads.
Yes. Snakeheads.
Okay.
It's gonna be great.
And the back part of that is what fish shouldn't be in the hobby. Something that's in the hobby today that really shouldn't be in the hobby. Or at least not for regular hobbyists. Maybe it's only there for experienced people or something like that.
It trips me out when I see, as far as hobbyists goes, it trips me out when people keep like arapimas and alligator gars. That when I lived in New Jersey, there was this one pet store, and it's middle of New Jersey. It's city. It's city. New Jersey is city. Most people live in houses and apartments, and the houses aren't, 2-story or whatever. And there's this one pet store, and he had arapimas there. They were about 1.5 feet long, and he sold them for $200. And they would come in on Friday, and if you went in there on Saturday or Sunday, they were gone. Who is buying all these arapimas, and where are you keeping them?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd probably be arapimas.
That's a good one.
Common plecos are pretty bad.
That's usually my my answers. Yeah, because
they're really bad.
They don't tell us about them.
Yeah, there's a spot in Tampa. It's a nature preserve, and if you go, and it has a I want to call it a stream. It's not a river. It's a stream, brook type deal. And if you look in the water, there's no vegetation. But what there is, thousands of common plecos.
Gotcha.
Thousands.
Yeah.
So common plecos.
Some of the footage.
I'd switch it to common pleco.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Where was I at here? We got that one. So you go on hi Kalish. You go on a road trip. What are you playing? Maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just you and somebody else. You don't care about having a conversation. You want to listen to something. What's it going to be? But you're stuck with that one thing, right? It's one soundtrack, so it's like one album or one mixtape. What's it gonna be?
If I had to pick one album, it would be Old Dirty Bastard, his first one. If you want to know why I think the way I do, is because I think like he sings, or raps. I love Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah.
I feel like when I heard Old Dirty Bastard, I was like, he raps like I think.
I don't know any of his music. I don't like rap music, so I've tried. I really have. I've tried.
If you don't like rap, you will hate Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah. You know why? Yeah. And I've said this. The reason I don't like rap is because it's poetry. It's poetry set to a beat, not always to a beat, but it's poetry set to music, really. It's,
Yeah.
And I don't like poetry. So it's the same thing. There's a lot of skill, there's a lot of talent involved, but I just don't, it's not for me.
No, and that's totally. I'm okay with that, but like I said, even people who do like rap would sometimes Old Dirty Bastard is just too much for them. But Old Dirty Bastard was a big influence in my life.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
good one. And is that your favorite genre of music too? Is rap or what?
Old school. Well, it's crazy that I'm calling it old school, but yeah, Wu-Tang, Nas, Tupac. Yeah, the 80s, 90s rap. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Adam McReynolds, what's up, Adam? He wants to know what monster fish do you wish would be like a little schooling fish, like a nano, like a neon tetra, but like a big fish shrunk down.
So the attitude of a particular fish shrunk it down.
The whole thing. Maybe you were talking about the snakehead. So like a school of snakeheads, but they're only like 2 inches long.
Yeah. That's the first time I've ever heard anybody ask me that.
He asks that every stream now, and it's a good question. I like it.
Yeah, that's an awesome question.
Yeah.
What large fish is so spectacular that it would be more spectacular if you could have a bunch of them in a little tank? Oh man, snakehead would definitely be one of them. That's a head scratcher. That's a head
Yeah.
scratcher.
Well, snakeheads, that's a good answer. I mean,
Honestly, you know what? No, I think snakeheads, but now, mind you, I've never had a snakehead before, so I can't really say that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
flower horns. Could you imagine 2-3 inch flower horns? You know, a tank full of them.
Yeah.
Flower horns.
Yeah.
Flower
That's a
horns.
good one. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, I'd definitely like to see those. That would I like the answer or the question because there's some just amazing big fish that would just it'd be so cool to see them as a small little fish like that.
Yeah.
I like thinking about it. Next one up is Ben, the bipolar fish keeper. He says AquaFunk, cake or pie?
Pie.
Good man.
Pie.
And any particular pie?
Well, first of all, I don't think vegetables or gourds should be in a pie and pastry. Keep your filthy veggies out of my yum yum. I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't like sweet potato pie. I don't like carrot cake. Give me cobbler, the peach cobbler, the apple pie, cherry pie, blueberry pie.
It's got to be a sweet fruit in order to be in your pie.
I love fruit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love fruit.
Pumpkin pie. And sweet potato pie. The only pie I don't. There's no bad pie, just bad people. Zenny wants to know. This is a good one too because this one makes you think. So her question is: the rest of your life, the best version of you, most ideal life, in 5 words. And now you could just use 5 words, or you can make a sentence and say, "I hope I'm really happy," or whatever it is. So you can make it as just 5 words separately, or make a phrase out of it, whichever way you want to do it. What would you want the rest of your life to look like? It's always a good question. Say no to stuffing, Dee Dee. Stovetop nasty.
Live life loud, love longer. I guess, huh?
A lot of L's.
Yeah, I mean, live life loud. Like, you know, I just don't want regrets, and love longer. Like, you know, that's a difficult question, and I know the answer, all that, but I definitely believe in living life loud.
What does that mean? Live life loud, boisterous, just bigger than life.
If that's what it is, if that's for you, that's what it is. If it's doing things, bold, you know, be bold in what you do and who you are. You know, that's yeah, like exactly. You know what I mean? Own it. You know, don't shy away from who you are. There's too many people are too afraid to be themselves because of what they're gonna say, and that's not me. And I've always been a complete opposite of that. That I wouldn't know how else to be. I feel like everybody should do that because I've done it for so long. You know, like it's awesome, and everybody should do it. You know,
I'm with you. People should be true to themselves for sure. Next up is Nano Aquarium Guy, one of your fellow Floridians. Mm-hmm. Funk's favorite YouTuber outside of FishTube, somebody who isn't related to fish. Who do you like to watch on YouTube that's not fish related?
One YouTuber that I would watch that's not fish related.
Wait. That was a weird reaction there. There's something there. What is?
You'd be surprised on what I watch other than fish. I watch more of these type of commentary type things than I do FishTube. But I remember. I know you said, is there a subject? that I've never thought of being open with this subject.
If you don't want to, we can pass. If you're not comfortable, don't even worry about it. We go on to the next one. If it's something
I watched The Young Turk. I watch it.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people would have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of, yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay.
I like watching The Young Turk.
Okay.
And The Young Turk is multiple people. So I get a lot of different, really. Yeah.
There's some good stuff
peanut
there.
Butter pie.
What's that?
Oh, peanut butter pie. No. It's like a big Reese cup.
I don't know that I've had peanut butter pie either, but
it's like a big Reese cup, ain't it?
June wants to know if you like Star Trek or Star Wars.
Both. I'm not loyal to either one of them. I will watch if one of them comes out with something new. I will watch it.
You like them both. You're a fan of both.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Me too. Definitely. I think there's a lot to be said for both of them.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Besides, that's good because June will come after you.
Why? Who's she?
Coming after you. You don't want June coming after you. She's a
Star Trek fan. She's a Star Trek fan?
Wars, yeah. She'd be on the plane right now.
Okay, because I know Star Wars people are really like. I love
Star Trek. She's Star Trek, and they'd be like, "Man, you can't bring knives on the plane." You know.
Well, here's the thing: Star Wars people are really funny. I know she's Star Trek, but I'm just saying, Star Wars people. If you ever talking and you're talking to a Star Wars person, say Darth Vader. Oh. It's Darth. Yeah, but saying Darth is silly. So I'm not going to say Darth. I'm going to say Dark. Darth. That's just, I'm a grown man.
With musicians, with certain bands, like if somebody says they're a huge fan of Led Zeppelin, I like, I liked them. You know, or I liked him. I mean, I liked him. It's a band, but I liked him. He was good, you know.
I like that song, Walk This Way, they did.
Okay, hold on. Mountain Greenery wants to know if you could ask Funk if he could live in any of his aquariums, which would it be and why? So you either are yourself, you shrink down and you're like a little of one of you, or you're one of the fish to live in there, whichever way you want to do it. Which tank would it be?
I'd have to say right now, it's my Lake Tanganyika tank. 56 boat front, packed with all different types of Lake Tanganyika fish. If I lived with my pea puffers, I would fight them. I would definitely fight them. Yeah. And I got sea anemones in this tank, and I have outside in my living room. I got koi, butterfly koi, and they just doo-doo too much. I don't like doo-doo. Ooh. I had to see strings of doo-doo all over the place. That would be terrible.
I remember the bidet conversation. See, I've watched your stuff. I watch. Zenny's up next. Zenny's up next. So you've got to live, work, and play 24/7. This person is always right by your side. It's a fictional person, so somebody from a book, a movie, somebody who's not real. They're like a personal sidekick. Who would you choose and why? See, they get in depth with some of these questions. They get. That's a good thinker. So it's somebody not real.
Somebody not real that they never lived.
A movie, a book, a TV show, a porn, whatever it is. Who's going to be your sidekick?
Well, I mean, okay, so George's gorilla friend, like the person who raised George from George's Jungle, the gorilla.
The jungle, yes. Watch out for that tree.
I've always wanted a pet silverback gorilla that I can just be chill with and go all kinds of places and put Timberland boots and hoodies on and go to the club. We go to the club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that one talked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love a gorilla.
That's a good one because I mean, besides you talked about Joe always having your back. I mean, have something like a silverback gorilla having your back.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll go to the
There's
club, put him some Timberland boots and hoodie. You know,
just that, no pants or anything, no.
he goes straight pantsless because I'm not cleaning that. Because then you have to put a diaper on him, and that's just weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, changing a male silverback gorilla's diaper, grown. You know what I mean?
Skull Aquatics, what's up, Curtis? He said, Funk can come ride horses with me and see a real cow.
I've actually seen a real cow before. To be honest with you, I didn't give birth to the cow, but I did help the cow give birth.
Oh.
I grabbed. Yeah. Well, I don't know how to say I gave birth to a cow. I birthed the cow. I don't know what the vernacular is for.
Yeah.
Pulling a calf out of a cow's, nethers.
We have quite a few people that
cow farm.
Yeah, what is that? We have so many people, Dee, so many people that grew up on farms and stuff. Somebody's going to tell us by the end. Somebody will tell us.
What?
Chattanooga, what's up, brother?
But yeah, I grew up around. Well, I didn't grow up around farms. When I was in Brooklyn, they had this thing called the Fresh Air Fund through 4-H, where they take poor city kids and let them hang out with a family and a sponsored family. And at the time, I didn't know where I was, but I realized I was in Pennsylvania as an adult because there were Amish people there, and it was a cow, a dairy, and corn farm. And I remember one of the Doug, he was the father. Come on, Jay, get on the tractor. We got to find one of these heifers that she ran off to give birth in the woods. And we found her, and she was down in a little ditch, and she was laying there, and she was having trouble. And the farmer said, grab the baby's hooves and pull. And It was gross. It was so nasty. You grabbed it, it was all the gooey, burfy stuff, and I pulled it, and that little thing came out. The tongue was out. It was and he said, all right, that's yours now. Name it. And I named it after my other sister from my dad's side, Jasmine.
Yeah, that's funny. Does she know that? Does she know you named a cow?
Yeah, I told her that, and I figured she'd be happy about it, but she wasn't.
Yeah. No,
she wasn't happy at all.
My very good friend grew up on a farm, and he named all the cows too. But he always named them like this one's hamburger and that one's steak, and that's the tri-tip. He always named them that way. Okay, what do we got? Oh no, we're still good on time. We got 20 minutes left. Dapper Dennis wants to know, and hi Dennis. Is there a historical figure that you'd like to meet? He's got a two-parter here. So
there's definitely. Dad, her name is on the tip of my tongue. I was just thinking about her, Harriet Tubman.
Oh, okay.
The story of Harriet Tubman is amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
You was a slave. You broke free. You're a little old black lady. You're going back to the South to get, and you did this multiple times.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. How she is not a hero, an American hero, just for having the guts to do that. I mean, recognized like federally recognized.
Right.
Having the guts to do that as a little old black lady, sneaking back into the South.
Yeah.
To rescue more slaves. That's amazing to me. Amazing. When they said they was going to put her on money, I was like, yes, I think she would be definitely deserved the money, being put on money. Harriet Tubman. What's the second part?
Is there an era in time that you'd like to visit?
No. And you know why? I am not I'm not a germaphobe, but all people that lived back then,
you can go forward. You go forward in time and see stuff. It's just any time.
Oh, I would go forward. Any place where hygiene was better. Because I'm not going to people that, I'd love to go to Roaring 20s. You know what they didn't have in Roaring 20s? Roaring deodorant or Roaring razors or Roaring feminine products or Roaring foot powder. They didn't have, not everybody had Roaring toothpaste. Like, no.
You want it clean.
I don't. Yeah, I couldn't live without indoor plumbing.
Did you
No.
ever watch? You know who Red Fox is?
Yeah, I love Red Fox.
Did you ever watch his old stand-up, like his old stuff?
You big dummy. Yes, I do occasionally watch Red Fox.
He
his old stand-up.
often talked about washing your ass. That was a big thing in a lot of his skits, was making sure your ass was clean. You know, he would give detailed instructions on how to clean your ass.
Like I watch movies like westerns, you know, and the guy will go into like a brothel. You're like, yeah, let me get a room, and they had to pay for the bath, and it was just a bucket with a wooden bucket with a bucket right next to you, and they just pour the water in, and you just washing yourself in your own funk, your own sewage. Like it's been weeks since you have a bath, and you're just gonna sit in your own like a nasty butt and elbow armpit stew. No,
they didn't know. They thought
but
that was clean.
Okay, but I know now, so that's why I wouldn't go back.
And think about like 300 years from now, if we continue to evolve, and you know, what are they going to have 300, 500, 600 years from now? They're going to look back at this time and think we're disgusting. You know?
Yeah, they're gonna have the 3 seashells.
The 3 Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep.
Which still baffles me to this day. To this day, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How do you use 3 seashells? They didn't show us the seashells, so we don't really know if was it a conch? Was it a clam shell? You know, we don't know. What are you doing with seashells that's going to wipe your butt? I don't get it.
It's a lot of scooping, it sounds like. Big Tank Hank, what's up?
Big Tank.
I'm just looking for hopefully I didn't miss any. Maritza's here. Hi, Maritza. For the record, she says, I'm a cool Puerto Rican gal. Don't meet
They all are at first. They all are at first, Maritza. Don't act like I know you. I know you. I know you. At first, they're awesome. This is the one. This is the one. The one Puerto Rican girl that's different than others. 5 years down the line, you're like, that's the same one that I was trying to get away from.
And Maritza, are you still on your trip, or are you back home? Next up is Jenna. She wants the Freaky Friday question. So you remember the movie Freaky Friday?
Wasn't there multiple Freaky Fridays?
Yeah, but that genre of movies, yeah, there's been a ton of them. There's been a lot of movies that are the same type of thing. So body switching. Yeah. So who would you like to see in our community switch bodies for just like a weekend or a week or whatever? Is it you and somebody else? Is it 2 other people? Who would you like to see change bodies for a period of time?
How about you and Michael from Michael's Fish Room? I would love to see Michael take your place and go on a rant on your channel the way he does on his. I think
I'm not a ranter though. I mean,
I know that's what I'm saying. It'd be weird to watch.
Like, is he having
Michael,
a stroke?
in your chair, look like you, but him. Everybody grab yourself a tasty beverage and a snack and just start going in on somebody.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay, that's the first time I was included in one of the Freaky Friday.
You and Michael, yeah.
So what would I be doing over at Michael's place then?
Just being nice, you know. Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? My Plecos and my guppies. Everything's beautiful.
Come here.
Yeah. Come on. Kick your feet up. Take your shoes off. Relax.
15 minutes. Okay. Whips World wants to know what's your biggest irrational fear. Irrational.
Okay. I don't think it's irrational, but socially it's irrational. I don't like being touched by people I don't know. I cannot stand it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. I remember when I was going to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Orlando back in the day. It was in summertime, and I remember a professional woman was walking, and she was wearing high heels, and it was hot. I know it was hot because I was sweating. She was sweating, and we were standing about to cross the street, waiting for the walk sign, and she almost fell because she tried to get some out of shoe, and she put her hand on my shoulder to keep from falling. And I remember because I was embarrassed she was embarrassed, she was upset, I was embarrassed. I remember when she put her hand on me, I was,
like quick,
and
like,
it was that quick. And after immediately I was like, oh, that's so wrong that I did that, but I couldn't help myself. I've never had a lap dance because I am not having a stranger put stuff in my face. You know what I'm saying? So it stops me from while I was in the Army, I did do a whole lot of combat medic courses, CPR, and I purposely let it run out because it wouldn't make me feel as bad if I did not administer CPR because mine's expired and somebody were to die, because I don't know what I would do.
Wow, that is, I don't know that it's irrational. I think a lot of people, not a lot, but I think people feel that way. See, I'm a hugger. Yeah, anybody who's been to the Keystone Clash, unless they say, don't, I'm hugging people. I'm a hugger. I'm so happy to see you. I'm coming up and hugging you. But if you told me, hey, I'm not comfortable, obviously I would respect.
Okay, so a quick in and out. Yeah. Okay, so I've grown up in this society to know that that's something I'm gonna have to deal with. Gotcha. But like people who like want to, like people, I don't like when people just, hey, how you doing, and put the hand on my shoulder.
Yeah, I do that.
No,
too,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
What if I gave you a hug and smacked you on the ass like really hard? Would that be okay? Like a slap, like really like a loud slap? Would that be all right? Or would I have to be a little more gentle, like just a little?
I know that'd be joking, so it wouldn't bother me. It's just prolonged touching for no reason. Gotcha. No good reason. It's just like.
Especially a surprise, where like with a hug, you sort of know you're going in for a hug. But if somebody just comes over and puts their hand on your shoulder,
well, a lot of it is because I knew her profession and I didn't know where those hands were.
Sure, yeah.
So it was. Oh, who is that? Okay, so we was at Aquashella and Jess, and I remember Maida's eyes got so big. So Jess from Corey Dorable, she was doing a live stream, and I don't know why she was like, yeah, and they could hear you, and she pulled out her earbud and put it in my ear that fast, and I remember going, oh, God, and I took it, and she was like, what? I was like, no. It was in my ear, and the people in the chat were obviously making fun of me. And I remember Maida going
with you on that one though, because that's different. That's different. Yeah. I mean, that's different. That's like, here, you want some of my gum? That's the same kind of thing. That's
and I remember, and Maida was like, I can't believe you even let it get to your ear. I said, I wouldn't imagine anybody would ever do that. Would just take their earbud out and stick it in yours. I wasn't ready. So at first when it happened, I was like, is there someone's earbud in my ear? So it took me by surprise, and then I took it out. I would have never thought in a million years that I had to watch out for something like
that. That's a good one, though. Garcia doesn't have a question for you, but I think this is important. He said, it was great meeting you, and he really appreciates what you showed him, and thank you for all your guidance. So he's just throwing some kudos your way.
Oh, yeah. Garcia, he's doing his thing with his live streams. He's all right.
Yeah. Berto's a good guy. I got to meet him too at the Clash. Got to hang out with him.
I want to go to the Clash.
You should. In my mind, it's the best event out there right now. But there's some other ones that are close. But it's different than the Aquashellas. If you want to meet people and hang out with people from our community, it is one of the best ones to go to.
Don't do that, Koro. Don't do that.
What?
No.
Are you reading the one about the world records?
No, the wet willies when you meet me. No.
Oh. You're farther down.
Yeah.
What do we got? We got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to miss some. So Funk could take the time off to attempt any world record. So National Geographic sponsored it, right? Or whoever. Somebody sponsored it. You don't have to worry about the money part of it. But you are doing a world record. What would you be closest to succeeding in? What would you attempt? What would you do?
What would I be close to succeeding as far as a world record? Something that I think I'm so good at, I might be.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I'm good at problem solving, like visually. Like that's one of the reasons why I like mechanical stuff. I could see stuff. In fact, a lot of times when I see stuff, you remember that old. You remember that old. So maze, doing the maze thing. To answer your question, mazes.
Yeah.
Remember the old screensaver of the pipes that go.
Oh yeah. I think it was
A lot
called
of
pipe. I think it was
yeah.
called pipe. Yeah.
So I see a lot like that. When I come across a problem, a lot of that has to do with my, dyslexia. I've had to figure out different ways of figuring stuff out. So when I come up to a problem, a lot of times I see things move
Sort of
until
like
it gets
connections between them, how they connect together, and
how they connect, or how could I achieve what I'm trying. I'm trying to get this to there. How can I do that? These are my obstacles. So I really fast in my head and go, or no, hit a red wall, hit a brick wall this way. So it would be like a maze puzzle type of deal.
Okay.
That's one of my gifts. That's one of the things I like about. It's one of the things I like about my crappy job is I have to solve those type of issues. Putting in a so.
Yeah.
It's the
That's
only
what
thing.
I liked about IT as well, because you were always thinking outside the box and trying to come up with every day with something new and different, that you saw, and you had to solve it. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we're going to miss a lot of them here, so I'm only at 8:21, so we're about 30 minutes behind. Mikey B wants to know, if you could have invented something that's already out there, what would it be? So like, it's something you brought to humanity. So you get to be the person who brought this thing to humanity. Is it electricity? It's something that's already out there.
If I could invent something to humanity, I've always been amazed that somebody in history invented the little plastic things that go on shoelaces. Something so simple that every shoe in the world has, and you could say you did that. I would be like, yeah. You see that little piece of plastic on your shoelace that makes it easy for you to put it through the hole?
I did that.
That was all me, baby.
Are you a shoe guy? Do you collect shoes, sneakers? Are you into that? Yeah.
No, I will dirty them on day one, and I will not care because they're the closest thing to the ground on my body.
Yeah, they're shoes.
How could they not get dirty? I don't understand it.
I collect stuff, but that's just not what I. Yeah. Okay, Zenny's up next, and this one always gets people. So you get to the end of your life, right? You're done. Yeah. You've passed away, and there's somebody from your past is there to greet you. Who do you want it to be, and what do you want them to say? She gets us with that every time.
My mom.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty easy one. What would you like her to say to you? It's a tough question.
I don't know, man. Maybe, I mean, there's so much. I was 15. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of things I do thinking in the back of my head, like I got to do this for her or because of her. It'd be nice to shoot. Like, no, you didn't. It's okay. Yeah. You ain't got to do all that.
Yeah, that's a good one. She every time she asks that, and she just started like a few weeks ago. That's a new one for her, and
that's not cool, Zen. Not cool.
It's a good question, and quite a few of us have teared up with that one. A lot of us have. Yeah. So again, I have if I cry on a stream, I don't even care. Yeah. Big Steve wants to know if you'd rather have unlimited health or unlimited wealth. You have all the money you could ever need. Your family has all the money, or would you rather never have any issues with health your entire life?
I guess at my age, health would be the obvious choice, but I've lived longer than I thought I would. So if I knew I could leave something to my daughter, especially, I mean, my afterlife on what I leave behind is really, really heavy on my mind because I'm 47 and I have a 4-year-old autistic daughter. And my job sometimes takes me into places where there's assisted living, and I'm horrified by that.
Yeah.
So I would take the wealth, die happy, knowing that I can provide for my family and my loved ones after I was gone.
Yeah. I'm saying yeah because I'm with you 100%. I would love the same thing. I would love to be able to do stuff for my friends too and my family, and just I've always said if I was rich, everybody I know would be rich too. You know, it would be
Yeah.
You know. Okay, let's see. Whip wants to know if the lamp was rubbed and a wish was offered that you could choose a lifetime of happiness or health or money or self-improvement, which one do you pick? So this is sort of like the same.
It'd be the money.
A little bit.
It'd be the
There's
money.
more to it.
Oh, there's more?
Well, I mean, there's more to it. There's because you have some choices, like
Yeah. It would still be the money.
Yeah.
It would still be the money. knowing that I was provided for my family after I was gone would make me happy. My health thing, like, you're still gonna die. They're still gonna be here, you know, with the same needs. Only you're not gonna be there to provide it. So it'd still be the money.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
All right. Scrolling. Just a couple minutes left. Whip's got a very serious question. Godzilla or King Kong?
King Kong. I got a thing for gorillas. I want me a gorilla man. Right. And if I can have a giant gorilla, King Kong all the way. I thought the movie King Kong did not. I thought King Kong being a mammal would be a better fight towards a lizard. I thought that with Godzilla having electric spikes and everything, I was like, where did that come from? Was from the radiation? Well, I still think I just thought that was a little unfair. King Kong all day.
Mexicali said you have a fear of squirrels.
I have. Listen, hold up. Listen to me, YouTube. I don't have fear of squirrels. I have a respect for their evil and disgusting nature. Y'all keep thinking these fuzzy tail rats is cute and all that, but you know what they doing when they're looking around a tree and staring you in the face? They're scheming on how they can attack you. Y'all keep messing around with those devil rats.
There's some history there, huh?
They just too many times squirrels have looked at me and I could see them thinking, like, or I've been chased by a squirrel. Squirrels just you just don't sleep on a squirrel.
Like really, like chase, like you
were. Yeah, in New Jersey, I think the squirrel had rabies and it was just coming at me running. You don't know.
What period of time I would like to go back? That's it right there. I want to go back
to watch me get chased by
a squirrel. That's the time I want.
A diseased, out of its mind squirrel.
Okay, looks like this last question. And this is Dusty. Hi, Dusty. It's been a while. What's your favorite horror movie? And thanks everybody for
Exorcist, the first one, the original Exorcist with Linda Blair. Exorcist. I just watched the last one that they just made. It's on. It's free on. What thing was it? Was it free? On one of the streaming platforms, it's free. I thought it was decent, but the first Exorcist. Oh my gosh, I could watch. That's my favorite horror movie. It was back in
a remake, or is it totally different, or is it just in the series?
It's in the series.
Okay.
It's in the series.
Linda Blair.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the makeup of the possessed girl. I don't want to give it away, but the possessed individual, they did a really good job with the makeup to tie it in with the original Pazuzu. Pazuzu was the name of the demon that actually possessed, Linda Blair. And they did the makeup so that I liked the Exorcist the beginning, even the one that nobody liked, the second Exorcist where they had that guy jumping from body to body. If you got to understand what it was happening, it's actually pretty decent. But yeah, the Exorcist, the first one.
I don't like any of them. I'm just not a fan of horror movies
I
at
liked it.
all.
I like the religious aspect of it. I like the irreverence of it. I like the I like the fact that it was made in a time where there wasn't CGI, but yet it's still so scary. You
Yeah.
know, the music. I loved it.
What's your favorite? If you had to watch a movie, what genre would you pick? Would it be horror? Would it be comedy?
No, if I had to watch a movie, it would have to be some ridiculous sci-fi or action sci-fi. These days, I think the Fast and the Furious series can be considered a sci-fi.
Yeah,
because it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know, you got cars and out of space, rappers in outer space, but I like stuff like Blade. You know, with Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
I like the Underwear series. I say it's Underworld, but I always say Underwear.
Yeah.
You know, I like those.
A lot of latex in that series and those movies.
Yeah,
they're fun. I like them. Okay, yeah. Actually, we're past time. We're 9:01. Now we didn't really talk about your channel or anything. Normally, I let people say, you know, if you've got something coming up or if you got anything you'd like to promote. Is there anything like that you want to talk about before we go?
Right now, the only thing I'm trying to promote is my members only thing. I got with, you know, a couple with Fishy Biz to do the podcast. I really want to do a podcast where I don't have interruptions, so it's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be just a podcast where me and a guest of any. I'm trying to get guests, interesting people that have a passionate subject that they want to talk about. I don't want it to have just anybody, you know, just because. It needs to be a guest, an interesting guest about a passionate subject to them. I'm working on that really, but I'm just working on putting out good content. So I'm not putting out every week; it's every 2 weeks because I feel like me putting out content just for the sake of keeping a schedule, I don't like that.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I get how. Yeah, especially if it's not live streams and stuff. If it's long form content and you got to put it out when it's ready.
Yeah, I really like my long form. I really like my long form content, and I've been doing a lot of studying and working on. And I don't know if you guys have watched a video from me last year, the year before, but if you see what it is now, you can see a huge difference, and I hope it's appreciated by you people. I really do.
That's difficult to do as well. That because I know a lot of people are trying to do that, or not trying to, but it's difficult to do, right? It's you look at your older videos, and you can maybe incrementally you're a little bit better at doing this or doing that, but it's difficult to make that leap sometimes, especially when it comes to creativity. So there is a bunch of other not a bunch. There's a couple of other streams going right now. You know, you guys know where to look to see those. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us for the entire time. Our next guest is Chris Aquazone, which I believe is this Saturday, but I was looking at the schedule and I have it for next Saturday. I think I'm wrong, but Chris Aquazone will be our next one. And then LJ Shrimp will be the last one for the year. And again, the last Tuesday of the month, it's the 26th. We're doing an open panel. As long as you're wearing an ugly Christmas sweater, you can come up and join us. So everybody's welcome to come hang out on the stream and just have a good time. It's going to be fun. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Anything you want to say before we take off? Anything else?
No, not at all. Oh, you guys, I appreciate you for showing up. I really do.
We need a part 2 for sure, because there's a whole we didn't get into your hobbies. We didn't get into your work career. We didn't get a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll definitely get you on the list for the part 2. Whip. All right, I'm clicking buttons now. So we'll see you guys. Oh wait, let's do this. Let's do this.
What are we doing? Hey, you love me. You really love me.
And now I'm clicking buttons.